yourself on the floor. When the man with the power and the dollar says you ain't worth a cent, and your wings won't fly and your words won't flow, you can't force a smile and they won't leave you alone. I see the light in you, let it shine again. 'Cause you were born for the fire, raised by the storm, brave but together, loud and fun. Heart full of country, soul full of grit. We don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. Oh, we don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. I know a woman with a lion's heart and a pretty blue dress with a shopping cart. Head full of dreams, gonna change the world. Got a body of work they say won't sell, and a way with words but she won't tell. I see the light in you, let it shine again. 'Cause you were born for the fire, raised by the storm, brave but together, loud and fun. Heart full of country, soul full of grit. We don't run, we rise, and we don't quit. Hey, we don't run, we rise, and we don't quit.
Raised by the storm, brave but together, loud and fun. Heart full of country, soul full of grit.
We don't.
Good morning. How are you doing, Michelle? And how everyone else out there in internet land? Nice to see you on this lovely morning.
Yes, Allie's obviously in the studio. I am remote because I am a little bit under the weather. It's all the shaking hands and kissing babies, maybe.
Sure, let's go with that, candidate. Oh my goodness.
Did I mention that Allie's my bestie and that
Sure.
nothing gets past Allie?
No, nothing at all. I am so glad that to see you today. It's just I've missed you, and I know you've been busy. So nice to have you here. Thank you guys for joining Out of Pocket Live with Allie and Michelle. We love you guys so much, and thank you to our lovely friends and partners over at Talk Red. We love you guys so much. So make sure you guys give them a like, share, subscribe, or follow. We'd appreciate that as well. Let's grow Patriot news and media,
Yes,
right? Essentially what we
absolutely. Allie, I was just with Nick and Colton from Nick and Colton show yesterday, and they were saying that our program, it's kind of like a girls show. Like you can tune in and hear a little bit about dating and about fun stuff that we like to talk about as women, being moms, whatever. But then, then you're going to get the hard stuff, right? The actual current events and what we feel about it, because we're completely unmuted here. And that's what we love about Talk Red and the other partners that we have. They don't require us to run our talking points through them ahead of time.
Nope.
It's pretty amazing to be able to not be tethered to that kind of thing, unlike most in the mainstream media. So
Yes, no, for sure. I love it. It's fantastic. And I feel like we're very blessed to be able to do this. So sure.
very grateful, and to do it with my bestie and partner in crime. I love it. Today we'll talk a little bit about Switzerland and what's gone on there. What came out of it. JD Vance will give.
I'm sorry.
wait, I missed it. What did you say?
I said the best chocolates.
I don't think that's why. Well, maybe that's why Vance was there. Also, I don't know if you guys caught the news, but Colombia went full MAGA with their presidential election. So it's contagious, and I think that's circling the globe. Plus, I don't know what in the Trump derangement syndrome is going on with Algae, but
my gosh, it's wild, you guys.
They're not okay.
No,
they're not okay. And we'll talk about all the things, guys.
All right, let's open that mic and get out of pocket.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real. Politics, family, yeah, we go there. If it's out of line, we don't care. It's out of pocket. It's out of pocket.
Allie, I was seeing that little, all those interviews we did at Student Action Summit with Turning Point. And it reminded me that there is, the preliminary for the trial is going on out there in Utah, Idaho, Utah. Anyway, where the who we think is the assassinator of Charlie Kirk is trying to plead down from having to withstand the death penalty sentence because they still do death penalty by like firing squad.
Firing squad. Yeah. No, well, I mean, why not? I don't I don't think he should be able to. Um the
Yeah.
death penalty is the death penalty for I kind of didn't we talk about this the other I think a couple of shows ago we were like an eye for an eye. Like I think that's why not? I mean, if you
Why not? Bullet
if
for a bullet. I'm all right.
yeah, if you do it, what I don't understand. I just
We could even televise it. I'm not saying it needs to be televised, but think about all the people that were traumatized, all of our college students that were fricking on campus that day. I mean,
Yep,
tell me that you ever forget that.
you knew the consequences of the actions that you were taking. You were going to take someone's life. And does that
Hmm.
I know there are some very staunch people that are like, we should not do the death penalty ever at all, period. However, I disagree with that. I think there are cases where that does need to happen. Otherwise, it's taxpayer funded, 3 meals a day, like housing,
Three
that
meals
like
a-
they get it all, and education. Like, no, you cannot.
Well,
I don't agree.
and let's be realistic. There are things that, I mean, we've seen even here in the state of Florida, DeSantis has gotten really strong on crimes against children. There are things that he's just, we're not going to debate it. They don't deserve to continue to draw breath. I mean, there are people that can be, we believe in second chances, obviously, but something like this, I don't know. A heinous crime like this, I don't know.
It's a hate crime. It's not something that he was
Yeah,
provoked to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like he
it's not
wasn't
self-defense.
exactly. It wasn't self-defense. It was premeditated based on hate. The fact that Charlie spoke words he didn't like. It wasn't like Charlie was doing something out here crazy that was equivalent to having his life taken. That
Throwing algae in a pool. I mean, he
I
wasn't doing anything crazy like that. Jesus.
this is insane. So I disagree with his plea to want to plead down from the death penalty. I think everything should be on the table for this guy.
And let us, I think the judge has already ruled that cameras can be in the courtroom. I think that's great only because of some of the some of the differences in opinion that you have going into this trial. Let everybody see the evidence of what's going on. Even Erica Kirk said she would like to see that happen. And that's really, I would think you go to the family of the victim and say, because you don't want to make them relive everything. But she was unequivocally like, no, I think this is a good idea to keep
Right.
cameras in the courtroom. So
Well,
anyway,
the truth be told, because you can't trust the media. So she's right about that. You can't
trust
trust the
yeah.
media. I mean, we're talking about algae in a reflecting pool, for crying out loud, instead of the information that came out about the most corrupt who's it? Anthony Fauci, part of Health and Human Services. Like,
Nobody's picked that up. Tulsi Gabbard. Nobody. Fox.
no,
No.
talking about it.
And then they ask me all the time, why don't you girls go to one of the bigger networks? You do so well. Why? To be muzzled again? Are you like, there's to all the people that have asked me this, there's no dollar sign that I'm willing to muzzle for. So
Yeah. No,
love you.
that was proven a couple months ago. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just
Thank
didn't.
you. I want
I'm
to
not
high
doing
five you,
it.
but I'm not there.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
We're not doing it. Oh, Allie.
I know you're okay.
There's nothing that a good steroid shot
That part.
won't help with.
Sometimes those are good when needed.
It's when needed. Allie, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So with me being remote, guys, we handle things a little differently, and we do not have a tech crew that's with us today. So Talk Red somehow trusts us, I guess, to drive this bus here. I wanted to talk a little bit, Allie, first of all.
To be fair, we have been doing this before Talk Red could put us on. So we were able to do it before. We can do
Right,
it.
but Talk Red was like, we're going to make it easier on you guys. We're going to get you like real producers and like to run all the tech stuff. And then I'm like, I can do it because I'm that person. I can do it. Oh, won't take help from anybody. I'll be. Well, Colombians are now flooding the streets because they are celebrating, Allie, the fall of socialism. Take a look. Let's get some mute on this. might ask why. Why are they so excited? So they're calling him an extreme right. Of course, this is
Right.
extreme right, Trump-backed president De La Espriella won. They're saying it was a slim victory, but that just means that they couldn't program the algorithm
Well,
to outproduce the election results. Sorry.
This is actually, I believe, happening. This has happened in like 6 other countries, I believe.
Yes.
And once this people are drawing the like threading this needle that once USAID has been taken out from these nations, they're voting more conservative, which
Yeah.
I mean, if if USAID is funding election corruption in some of these countries, and then they're all of a sudden not doing that anymore,
Right.
of course you're going to see, you know, more people properly counted when they vote.
You're so right, Allie. Good segue, because not only did Luna say this, Rubio they're calling it the Secretary Rubio effect, right? So because Rubio said this publicly. Now, when you're looking at these maps, guys, red is not Republican or blue Democrat. The way they're monitoring this, if you look on one side of your screen where it's predominantly red, they're saying the red is kind of their left wing establishment, what we would consider Democrat or liberal. The blue is their right wing. So look what it looked like in 2023. Wow. In March's Trump. In 2024, they start dialing back all the onion layers of USAID and the spending. They cut it. They make narco suppliers and the drug cartels terrorists. Yep. You know that they take out the leadership of Venezuela, who was not the rightful elected leadership, brought him in. Now he's singing like a canary. So they're continuing to understand what generals, what armies, what I guess professional political hitman have played a role in South America. And now look at 2026. You can see, of course, when you're thinking blue is now kind of their conservative, you can see the entire coastline there. Plus, there are those, Allie, that are saying that Brazil, that most recent election, has a lot of questions, more questions than answers about it. So you can see exactly what Allie said. That's what Luna's saying here. Once we cut off USAID slush funds, look what happened. Wow.
And I don't even think it's just cutting off USAID. I think it's having a strong president as the United States president. When you have a president like President Donald J. Trump, who is able to promote peace through strength and govern through peace through strength, and create these deals and do what you said just a few minutes ago about having or designating narco cartels as terrorist organizations, that is going to deter a lot of what you're currently seeing in South America and other nations, because cartels largely are the government, or they rule, they control the government arm, because that's how they're able to continue to do what they're doing illegally.
Exactly. And they're the bully in the room, right? So they allow it.
Iran is the same way.
Amen. Yep. And so what do you need? You need a bigger bully. And so into the Trump administration, all you people that are in your delicate fields because you don't like the way he talks and don't like the way he sounds and don't like him walking in to the G20 summit and being like, I'm the boss. And then people are like pulling out his chair for him. That stuff works because people understand strength. They understand it. They understand it in men and women. We know that as well. But, you think about him taking out the Maduro. And when I say taking out Maduro, you have to understand we're not for going into sovereign countries and taking out or taking away their leaders. There was an indictment that came down in the United States for Maduro because of the crimes against humanity, because of a lot of things, actually. But when you take out that, so now he's no longer that bully in that region. You take away the manpower or the firing power of all these cartels because we now see them as terrorists. And what did we say even under a Bush? That we will not negotiate with terrorists, although he changed his tune on that. Maybe it's this freedom wave that's all of a sudden circulating all of South America. And this is what I love about it. When he was like, tiptoeing around this idea of a Monroe Doctrine 2.0, Don Roe Doctrine, something we had under our 5th president of the United States that we now see as something we're revisiting. We once said in this country that you keep your Eastern stuff out of our Western hemisphere. That's what part of that Declaration of Independence was. They knew what they were talking about. They didn't want China. They didn't want the Middle East. They didn't want Russia infringing over here in this hemisphere. That's how we got Bay of Pigs, right? So
Right.
that Trump understands that and adopts it as part of his America First agenda. Completely brilliant, because you're going to see a free South America.
Yep. And there are a lot of people that are kind of on edge about this because they're like, well, we need to make sure that we're taking care of American citizens and actually getting done what the American people want. And I'm like, yes. And two things can be true at the same time. You can
Right.
still have diplomacy around the world and still be for America and Americans' principles, right? America's principles,
Yes.
America's
I mean,
principles.
Allie, answer me, why would we have a Secretary of State? Why would we have foreign prime ministers and dignitaries? Why do we keep
Right.
the UN, as much as I don't like it, on US soil?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
better know what the globe is doing.
You
And I
have
think,
to in order to prepare.
yes, we have said on this show many times, America First policies is like you putting a lock on your front door.
Mhm.
The America First policy around the globe is like you putting a fence and getting an HOA or what are those signs that you see? It's like where you police your own community. Come on,
Yeah,
what is it? You know what I'm talking about? Neighborhood watch. It's
There
your
you
neighborhood watch. It's your pistola in your nightstand. I mean,
That's
listen.
what it is. I mean, but if you want in America to be proactive instead of reactive, we have to know what is going on around the world, and we have to be able to be in those rooms, and we have to be, and I don't want to say it like this, but we have to be the bigger bully, because there are bullies around the world that want everything that we have without the cost that we've given in order for us to have it and maintain it. It's like it's coveting in a way, but you don't know
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
cost is in order to have the freedom. And it's not that I don't even think that they really want freedom. I think they want control, and I think that's what that is. America is full of resources. America is full of, like, I mean, our land is just absolutely amazing. But these other nations, these other dictators, or these other rulers of other nations, they don't want free people to own that. You know what I mean? Because we are the owners of our land, our government.
You're right, Allie. And I think in the course of history, especially recent history, if we go back like late 90s up till now, we have done a disservice in the way we have told conservatives, even young men, I'm going to take this as far back as the church, of how we handle conflict and how we are to engage or not in the public arena, the public square of public policy. We've told people that you need to be polite, you need to be inclusive. Okay, we don't think that you have to. I mean, you should not be allowed to bully someone in the idea of make fun of them for something that stands out. Like, that is, understand, that's different. What I'm talking about is the type of authority and the type of strength that steps into a room and instantly changes it changes the atmosphere. You can tell your BS no longer belongs here because I'm here to challenge every ill thought that you're going to try to represent. That type of debate, that type of honest public square debate, we just talked about Charlie Kirk. It cost him his life because they couldn't
Right.
handle it.
Yep.
We've raised now generation after generation after generation. That's like, you can't say that because you hurt somebody's feelings. No,
It damn near cost President Trump his life.
I mean,
And all he's doing is trying to make America better. And he's trying to make the world not take advantage of America and Americans. This is the reason why we had Doge. This is the reason why we have the fraud department. This is the reason why there's states like Florida that are trying to get rid of fraud. They're trying to figure out, they're trying to get rid of USAID across the nation. Like, this is why, because Americans are being taken advantage of, not just in our own local municipalities, but on a national level and on a global scale. No wonder why we can't afford to live the way that we should be living, like owning our own homes by the age of 30, owning a vehicle, and not having to pay property taxes. Because, do you not understand what I'm saying? Like we are not able to live the American dream because we're so busy funding it for everybody else.
I know, and that leaves us with like this Mondami American nightmare. Just
And then they get mad because we decide to cut them off. It's like, how entitled are you? You didn't work for that. You did.
This is not another narcissist relationship. You are cut
We're not
off.
doing this.
We're not doing this. Take a look at this. Zohan Mandami is pushing Democrat Socialists of America to take over the Democrat platform. He's saying this: abolish prisons, free all incarcerated people, defund the police, close jails, disarm offices. I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong. This is what is. God. Like, I can't believe that we have to point this out. But guys, do you hear this talked about on any other mainstream network?
No, no one is talking about this.
This
And
is.
trust me, we try to find it. We desperately try.
I'm on the phone like, yo, Hannity. I just like, maybe they might want to, but it's not. It's too much for even mainstream media. They're worried about their advertisers. They're worried about their next, I don't know what.
Guys, but sis, like, let's really break this down real quick. You want justice for people that are already incarcerated, meaning justice has already been served, ma'am, sir. And you want to let go, you want them to, you just want to just release them. That without like court, you know, without a judge saying so. We're just gonna so that essentially the mayor of New York City is going to tell everyone that they can come out of jail. What? That is not your role, sir. Learn proper roles of government. That's not your role. And then once
He's
you
just the mayor, like he's not the governor. He's not a legislator. You're
Once
the
you
mayor.
once you release them, you want to completely defund the police service. Who is more likely to be hurt by that? People that are law-abiding citizens, innocent people that have not been incarcerated.
Allie,
That's who you hurt. You hurt innocent children, mothers, fathers.
Yes.
That's who you hurt. Your community members.
Meanwhile, you've got people sitting in prison that have done far less, right? Like little swipe of the pen errors, and you want to keep them in jail for 20 years. You Tina Peters, who speaks up about the things that happened during the 2020 election. She did her job as somebody that was a part of the supervisor of elections office there, and you incarcerate her, but yet no, those people don't get out. We don't believe in a second chance for them, but you're going to take your most hardened criminals
and the ones that have a different political ideology than you, the ones who have a different religious ideology than you. So what's next? So if I'm not Muslim and I decide not to, or anyone that is in New York City decides not to, convert, do they get locked up for life? Like, they can't get let out, but the murderer and the rapist down the cell block D and B, like, y'all get left out? What are we talking about? Like, this is okay?
Where did they do that again? Where they put people in boxcars and ship them off to camps, and then they said, if you don't behave more like us, if you don't believe like us, and if you don't denounce certain things, you're where was that?
But sis, even before Nazis took over Germany and did this, Islam has been doing this for centuries.
That's true.
They were already doing this for centuries. Where do you think the Crusaders came from?
Or why there was a need for them. And by the way, Obama tried to completely bastardize Crusaders and what they did. We did known then what he was talking about. And you're right, Allie.
Because no one teaches it.
But again, why does it take that kind of affront, like what Mandami's doing, to really provoke those that are either of other faiths or Christian faiths or just conservatives or just, I don't know, good people to come out and say, oh, wait a minute, this is not what we want here. I mean, people have left. They've been driven out of New York in droves. We know, because most of them have ended up here in Florida.
Here in Florida.
And they're all driving. By the way, they're all driving. Try to get anywhere in Florida these days. It's just... Bring your patience. This is what I think is so hard about the midterm elections, is because we have such an influx of new people that have not been around since 2020 and have not seen that the people that are currently running for certain seats have not been around. They haven't been doing anything.
They haven't done anything. They haven't supported a thing. They haven't mentioned
spent-
anything online. They haven't been to any rallies. They haven't been to any kind of community meetups or groups or anything. They haven't done it. So
spent
when they're
more time
Yep.
on the campaign trail, thankfully educating voters that are here, new voters. They're, first of all, you escape your blue state to come to Florida. They're so excited to be here. And they're like, all of our problems, we're behind in the blue state. And I'm like, if you don't elect the right red, you're going to get it here too. So then it's like letting them know what's at stake. Do you know? I don't think I've talked to you since this. My opponent said I was an extremist. An extremist.
I mean, at this point,
For
At this
saying that,
point-
for saying the only way you get a Democrat elected in a Republican stronghold is you don't give the voters all of their background, and you don't tell them that you're a Democrat.
yeah. How is that extreme?
It's a little
They
too
call
far.
you the names so that
Well, somebody, I think that we both know, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, Chuck Schumer, he was talking about the Save America Act, and he says it means millions of ineligible voters will be able to vote. Did he have a Freudian slip here? Let's take a listen to his language. Let me look. Michelle's running tech. Sorry.
Because the Republicans in the Senate are not trying to push through his bill to restrict voting in this country.
Well, that's right. This is this horrible thing, the SAVE Act, one of the worst, most anti-election democracy things that's ever been proposed. They say it's all about ID, voter ID. It's not. They will remove 25 million people off the rolls. Trump knows he will lose the election. He said it. Because he has created such chaos and because we Democrats have shown what we're for and the contrast between what we're for and
Because
25 million people off of the voter rolls? What the hell do they know that we don't know?
Right. 25 million people need to be removed from the voter rolls because they're either not American or they're not alive. Like, that's why they're not American citizens and eligible to vote. If you are not an eligible voter, you should not be on voter rolls. So yes, that is exactly why. And yes, President Trump is right. If we don't get the Save America Act passed, we could lose the midterms, and we could eventually lose the presidency in 2028, which would then snowball everything that we held off these last 4 years.
Because they won't codify it into law soon.
Right. Oh, so frustrating. It is
People-
so
Ugh.
frustrating. That is the issue. It has to get passed, and we're done talking. Like, I'm done asking. Like, at this point, it's over 83% of Americans want this bill passed. I don't know what the heck the Senate's problem is. We need to figure out how to remove these people from office, because this is not okay. It's just not okay. You are now part of a national security threat.
Absolutely. And how do you prevent a complete overtaking of your country from within? I mean, this is, if we had millions of armed men, all with the same fatigues on from a different country, lined up on the shores of our coast, we would be like, oh my God, we're at war. Time to fight for our country. But you slip them in through your southern border, give them IDs in a lot of your states, even Florida, and don't designate whether or not they're here through legal citizenship or not. Or you choose California's route where you don't check any identification. You actually make it illegal to check down an identification. Then what? You allow them to change your rules fundamentally from inside your own country? How have you not just been overtaken by a foreign adversary? It's the same friggin' thing. It didn't work in Pearl Harbor, so they're going to try it a different way, in my opinion.
No, your opinion is right on par, ma'am. I don't understand. This is what happens when you get people that are in office to serve themselves, not to serve their communities. This is what happens when you get people in office that don't understand proper role of government and the fact that they are there to support and codify. It's not even the right word, but to make sure that our constitutionally protected rights are protected. Yeah. That is what the purpose is. I mean,
You
there's
know what?
others, about 18 roles of Congress, but those are the main.
And an election with only U.S. citizens voting goes all the way
Should
back
be
to
a no-brainer.
1776.
That's a no.
Why do I have to spell it out for you, Democrats? Why do we have to create more legal jargon? Why can't, I mean, I just don't understand this. I don't understand how these states that are operating outside of checking for citizenship, for voting, how they're not already just being held responsible for that.
I
don't think our
know.
founding fathers even thought this was a possibility.
And I don't know who is able to, and I mean, I understand that our vice president is very busy. But I don't understand who is really responsible for getting a hold of the Senate. Like, how do you wrangle that back in, and how do you bring that together? I know Senator Mike Lee is really trying, but he's like, there's not many. I don't know.
I know. Well, Senator Mike Lee says Republicans can't afford to let this bill fail. He's got some ideas. I like this idea of a problem solver. Don't just tell me you can't do it. Take a listen.
Democrats alike. We're talking about 3 out of 4 Americans, regardless of political party, want to make it easy to vote, hard to cheat. That's what the House Passed Save America Act does. And the Senate needs to be willing to do the hard work to make sure that that happens. If we put it on the floor tomorrow and we announce that we're going to debate it until it passes, I'm confident that we can get there.
Okay, so your colleagues, many of them who are with you, they support the Save America Act, say it's just not realistic. If you went to a talking filibuster, they say Democrats get 2 full speeches on every question, not just every vote on a bill. They predict that could tie up the floor for months and months, meaning no nominations, no military promotions, no legislation gets done. And they worry about how that's going to be perceived by here in America who want things done on affordability and other ways. They say it would take at least months. Your response?
Shannon, days or weeks can feel like months or years to United States senators who want to be doing other things. The truth is we haven't tried what I believe it takes to get the Save America Act passed, which is to put it on the floor and to say we're going to debate this for weeks. And we'll stay through weekends. We'll stay through previously scheduled recesses if necessary. But we're going to stay on this bill until it passes. Nothing sharpens the mind. Nothing hastens agreement. Nothing will bring about face-saving and perfecting amendments, quite like the obligation to stay in and debate something that is popular with the American people when filibustering senators trying to slow it down are becoming steadily less popular in their arguments.
So then that part right there, guys, tell me, American viewing audience, exactly what he's saying. If you know this is like a 90% success rate across the nation, everybody wants this, and you force them to filibuster this with, I don't know, reading poetry or whatever the Democrats pull out of their hat, all you have to do is see the unpopularity in that to be able to realize, okay, guys, we can't argue this. There's no argument for it. I think that helps, Allie, and let people stream that stuff live.
It helps. I do not disagree with Senator Mike Lee. We haven't tried it. Try it and see where we get with it, because I think towards the end of 2 weeks, maybe 3, they'll be tired of it. I mean, listen, the Democrats were able to shut down the United States, like our government agencies, TSA and DHS and border security, CBP. You were able to shut all of those down, right? Because of what? For what? For no reason. You were able to weaponize and to utilize the American people to use them as
the
tools.
food stamp program,
all of it. You want to use Americans for that, but you don't want to stand in the gap and and talk about why you want to not pass the Save America Act. Like, please do. If you really do stand on that, like, show me 10 toes down that why you stand that way. Show me why you agree, why you think that way. Debate. That's the whole point. Make it worthy of our 1776 250th anniversary of our independence. Make it worthy of the moment.
Amen, Allie. And I think, he hit the nail on the head too. They want to quickly move on. 2 to 3 weeks to a couple months can seem like eternity for senators that would rather be doing something else.
What is more important?
Understand, as long as the Senate floor is held up with the Save America Act, then what they're not doing, I mean, he mentioned military hearings for rankings. The American people aren't that concerned about
We
that.
don't care.
What the
Yes, we
senators
care
are
about
going to be, what the senators are going to be concerned about, Allie, is the funding packages that may not make it to the floor in order for their constituency to take advantage of. They're going to be worried about their pet projects that may not make it to the floor. And that's exactly what you use to get them to get in line with the will of the American people. This is what we've been talking about and helping and training people for the last few years of our lives, Allie, is how you apply, as you say, political pressure at the political pressure points that get them to move. This is it. This is how you do it. Do they have the cojones to do it?
I don't think they do.
Political fortitude.
I think the American people can push them to it. And I think the more we talk about it, because I mean, honestly, you and I, we've been talking about this for God knows how long, since it passed the House, almost 2 years ago. It's been almost over 400 days. So it just, we've about had it already. Like that, this is enough, but it needs to get passed for sure.
For sure. Allie, we get asked a lot how people can support those that support us. This is a great company, Liberty Cigars. They have their wonderful libertycigars.com. You can go there, not only read, it's like a history lesson, y'all, but you can look at their amazing packages that they have. Looking here at the presidential series, this is amazing. This makes for an amazing gift. You've got July 4th coming around. I would say get your orders in even for the upcoming holidays. What do you have to say about them, Allie? I know you are a fan too. You've actually bought their product.
They're amazing. I just love them. And why not support an American-made product right here that celebrates America in its own unique way? I mean, we have so many wins, so many things to celebrate. I mean, the war in Iran, the military conflict is like, it's, you know what I'm saying? We've got a deal on the table. Like, let's celebrate. I love this age of populism.
I was going to say, my birthday's coming up. This is what I want. Look at this, Allie. They've got the Donald Trump mugshots.
Yes, they do. They do. They do. And they're very popular. If you attend or join Trump Tuesdays with Mark Naughton and Real People Politics, I believe it's his handle, James R. They sell out all the time on the show. So,
oh my gosh, guys, make sure you go to libertycigars.com, libertycigars.com. You can use promo code Open Mic. Not only will you save 10% on your order, but you will be giving some help our way. Because doing this and doing what we do, even though we would do it regardless, because we both have other things that we're tied up in too, but I don't ever want to have to be in a situation where we take corporate funding, I guess, the typical corporate funding, right? That then says, I don't know about what you said last Saturday or last Friday, Allie. That was a little over the top. Dial it back a little bit. Like, can you imagine somebody? Well, somebody did try to tell us that recently. And well, how did that work? Anyway, so that's why you support the gals here at Out of Pocket Live. Go to libertycigars.com, use Open Mic as a promo code. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Allie,
what's up? What's next? Are we talking about algae and the freaks like damaging the pool again?
I was gonna save that for later. Hold on. Let's go first. This one was good. This is a good one. Because I did not know. I did not know the Lake Lucerne Summit is going on in Switzerland. I was surprised that most of what we were seeing coming out of Switzerland was not Trump. It is JD Vance. And here's what I love about this. Trump is, I mean, obviously I always think he's got a plan, but for a long time we saw Secretary of State Marco Rubio lead in a lot of these negotiations, right? And I thought, is he giving him like a nod to 2028 maybe? But then you see JD Vance taking the lead over there in Switzerland. So I think it's kind of nice that both of these men are getting great experience in the international arena. But take a listen. It's about 3 minutes. Let's listen to what Vance's take was over there, and then we'll talk about it.
Yesterday was a very, very good day. We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do, which is accomplish 4 things for the American people. First, we wanted to build a mechanism for keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. It is open. We've seen, of course, gas prices and oil prices come down, millions and millions of barrels of crude and natural gas flowing through the Strait of Hormuz that weren't flowing before. But we also wanted to make sure that we actually set up the coordination mechanism so that we could demine the Straits of Hormuz, so that when there are the conflicts that inevitably come up, we can make sure we work through them rather than that leading to escalation. And that is exactly what we did yesterday. Number two, we also wanted to build a mechanism, a similar mechanism for deconfliction for the regional ceasefire. As the President of the United States has himself said, sometimes these ceasefires just mean you're shooting a little bit less, but we wanted to make sure that we had the proper coordination set up so that if there is shooting, if Hezbollah fires at Israel, or if Israel responds, if there are other conflicts that arise in the region, we're actually talking to each other and figuring out how to stop the shooting, how to make the region safer, our allies and everybody else. We set that up as well. Number three, and this is probably what we're most excited about as Americans, the Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen. We made a lot of great progress on other nuclear talks. And that leads me to the final thing that we wanted to accomplish, which is actually set up the process for the technical negotiations that will follow. Our teams working with the Iranians, the Qataris, and the Pakistanis made great progress yesterday. They will continue to work at the technical level with the teams here in Bergenstock. And then those technical negotiations are going to continue over the weeks and days to come. We wanted to set up a structure for that so that you could have proper political oversight, but obviously, as much as this place is very beautiful, I can't stay here for the next 60 days. I'm about to go back home to the United States, but the technical teams are going to be working with proper oversight to make sure that we're accomplishing the objectives that matter for everybody.
So it sounds like a lot of infrastructure kind of stuff that's going on there. First of all, what type of country sets mines in the Strait of Hormuz, which is it's a business vessel canal? It's like who are you battling by putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz? This is the kind of intellect you're dealing with the IRGC leadership. They're not right.
No, well, they don't want anyone to succeed. They want all of the things for themselves. They don't want anyone else to succeed. And they feel like they own all of that area and that is theirs. They own the Strait of Hormuz and they need permission, or they're acting like a cartel. That's exactly what they are. Is cartel or a mafia, a terrorist organization, just literally what they are. In order for you to pass here, you have to give me something. What trolls on a bridge?
Trolls. Well, and they recently closed or tried to close it again. And I don't know if you saw what Trump said.
Oh yeah, Trump was not happy about it. I
closed that and bleep, 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 bleep. I was like, oh, okay. Well.
His patience is wearing extremely thin with Iran, and I think they better stop trying to FAFO, or they might FAFO last time.
Well, in all seriousness, what they're trying to do, because as I'm listening to JD Vance, I'm like, God bless you, but how many Americans are sitting here remembering all the way back to like, early 80s when we tried this. And I'm like, you're going to send inspectors back in there? Do we not remember what happened? I mean, they just weren't really showing them everything. And then they did it for about maybe a year and a half. We had a new election. The new administration came in. They went, oh, I can play you. And they stopped. They closed the doors. And for 30 years, we did nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, and I think that under President Trump, things will be different. And with the next, hopefully, Republican, true conservative, America First president, we will maintain his level of standard when it comes to these nuclear inspections with Iran. I don't think we'll go another 30 years or even another year without having some sort of inspection to make sure that they don't rebuild and can't and don't have the capabilities.
I mean, I hope so. Otherwise, Trump is literally just a tourniquet.
Well, I mean, how about we use FISA to figure that out instead of spying on American people, right? We can use
Like
FISA.
maybe don't go to school board meetings and say, "Wow, that one's really, really
Right.
far right leaning." Like
Use
maybe you actually spot.
FISA
Yes,
for what
yes.
it's supposed to be used for. Go on the dark web and make sure nobody's selling uranium to the Iranians, like in order for them to make nuclear weapons, like making sure that they don't have nuclear reactors, like making sure they don't have, the parts and mechanisms and things of that nature being sold to them. Like that's what the dark web is for. So maybe we can utilize FISA for that instead of spying on Americans. How about that for a change?
We will keep an eye on this for you because I'm a huge skeptic in all things Iran. I think needs to be a complete culture change to go back to pre 1979 before they were overtaken by extreme Islam, and anything short of that is like just kicking the can to the next administration. So I try. I'm like, I love you, Trump, and I think he's got the right. I think he's got the right thing he wants to do. I think he's frustrated that he can't just do it the way he wants to do it. Because it's just like in our country, we're starting to see in Iran, the young people are starting to rise up and ask the same questions. Well, but their mothers and grandparents' generation are not necessarily, so you've got that conflict even within the country itself. So
I think that conflict is almost everywhere, to be honest with you. Seems to be a generational gap between um, ideologies and political standings, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, and that kind of shows you where our education system has gone and where our news media has gone, because largely a lot of older folks get their news from other resources, and the younger ones get their news information from, like, for example, podcasts and independent journalists and X, right? They don't go to CNN, they don't go to like New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. They don't do that anymore. So
as much as I obviously appreciate, like them, like younger people wanting to go to podcasts, the one thing that concerns me is, like, I think it's just, God, welcome. It's just like, it's like dating. You have to give things the time to surface or develop. Because I think about all these podcasters that started like under the whole umbrella of Turning Point and this, New America First thing. And then they've kind of fractured and gone different ways. And you're kind of like, ugh, I don't even believe that. What are you talking about? But how much of their audience, their viewing audience, is now tethered to them as sort of like a fandom, and they can't even have independent thought. And it's another way. It could be another tool, I think, that people could use. I think you've got to take your podcasters, so to speak, with a grain of salt. We're not somebody that is instead of, common sense or being able to ask questions or being able to admit when you're wrong or just say, this is my opinion. Because when you cling to that person, and I think of the Sean Ryans and the Candace Owens, you're not going to always believe or agree with at least you shouldn't, with everything they say. And if you're clinging too tightly to every word as gospel, you might have an issue.
Right. For sure. For sure.
What do you think of this, Allie? I know we're kind of switching gears here, but James Comey allegedly threatened the life of the president of the United States. Obviously the 8647 thing. He's saying that this could stand as a couple of felony charges. This was just recently updated. Let me take a listen here.
The U.S. Attorney, former FBI Director James Comey, has now been indicted for 2 felony counts. While many of you may read this indictment and view this matter as a simple investigation, it is the farthest thing from that. Every single investigation this FBI and our partners at the Department of Justice undertake, especially those that involve the threats to harm or hurt or even kill individuals, whether they hold public office or civilians in our country, are met with the same measure of investigative prowess and tools and personnel in partnership with the Department of Justice as anyone else.
Okay, so indicted on 2 felony charges. I know we've heard something similar before. I'm trying to read this to see what makes this different. Yeah, very interesting. Because a lot of the comments that I'm seeing on here are, okay, what's next? Because this is an indictment from a grand jury, as I understand it.
Right.
He's not behind bars. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can't slap someone on the wrist and then be like, but
yeah. Go
million
back
dollars.
to your home. I think any American that were to threaten the president in that way would not, excuse me, would not be treated with
I
such
need more coffee, Allie.
grace,
I need more coffee.
you know? So I just it's very interesting that while there's an indictment, there's nothing else that follows that.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this I think this is something that we've spoken about before on our show. And I think others have talked about as well. And it's like, well, what is then update? Because this
Yeah.
can't just be the update. There has to be more than just, oh, he's been indicted on 2 felony charges. Okay, great. We knew that was coming. Now what?
Now what? Well, Allie, it gets even better. I guess we cannot delay any longer. Listen, I am all for a good 1776 moment, tea into Boston Harbor kind of thing. This kind of idiocracy, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Take a look.
Let's go. Let's go, Algae. Let's go. Let's go, Algae. Let's go. Woo! Yeah, Algae.
I'm sorry I even have to play that. But
Oh.
like all Trump has tried to do is beautify Washington, make it more safe ahead of any 250 celebrations we have. He's made monuments gorgeous again and secure again. He fixed the Lincoln Pool, which we were just there not that long ago. And you're taking pictures this way. And then you go this way and you're like, oh, I don't really even want to step near that. And they want Algae back in?
Listen, this is peak Trump derangement syndrome, and it needs to be studied by psychologists around the world because I don't understand how you can stand on the side of a pool and cheer like it's a football game for Algae, and yet when people were actually struggling during Hurricane Helene, none of you were to be found. Also, I find it hysterical that they're complaining about the taxpayer funds that are going in to rebeautify this. Mind you, Barack Obama spent twice as much to rebeautify it the first time, and it went to caca. So the more that they damage it, the more taxpayer dollars goes towards fixing it, you crazies. And then don't let it be remiss that we are all talking about Algae and not talking about the revelations from DNI.
The whole time not talking about that. Let me tell you, Allie, I'm glad you mentioned this. So there is, again, the reason why we're touching on this and kind of late in the hour is because I really want to make sure you guys understand Tulsi Gabbard on her way out of the DNI dropped a ton of information that, I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but the female in me really wants to say I told you so.
He told you so.
I told you so. Should have listened. See what happened?
But yes, and it showed the most corruption. I mean, it's just corruption. The Biden and Obama administration have been the most corrupt administrations, I think, in American history. I think Rand Paul is amazing for trying to get Fauci to be under some kind of indictment. I don't know what is taking so long, but clearly you see with James Comey and 8647, it's just because you're elected or in an official position that you can get grace like this. But God forbid you're a regular American citizen. This is insane to me. I think protesting Algae has absolutely nothing to do with Algae, just like any of the other protests. It's all Marxism. It's all rooted there. They don't want anything American. They don't want anything American sovereignty. And if you don't, go somewhere else to do this. But this is insane that none of these media, I think largely it's part of media, why we're seeing such an uptick on TDS, right? Because they're allowed to lie to you and propagandize to you and not allowed to tell you the truth. And they're talking about this instead of what we're talking about here with DNI and Fauci and all of that, the corruption that we've seen.
Well, Allie, and part of what Tulsi Gabbard did a wonderful job of saying was, we're looking at, first of all, we know Fauci was given a blanket pardon. There is no such thing. I mean, didn't name a crime, just gave it all the way back to 2014. And they went back and looked at what happened in 2014. And that's when, before 2014, as much as I don't like Barack Hussein Obama, before 2014, he and his administration had said, knock it off with the gain of function research. Stop. Don't do it here. Don't do it. We're not paying for it. Because so when Barack even understands the implications, okay, he's not an idiot. I mean, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he even understood. In 2014,
Yeah.
Fauci took his what he was doing here in this country, he took it overseas. And that's where you saw these biolabs spring up. So I think they want protection for Fauci going back to 2014 when he disobeyed what Barack Obama was asking him to do. And I think those, think about that. This is basically an Obama administration 2.0 in Joe Biden with an auto pen. Why would they specifically choose 2014? Because they probably want that separation from Barack Obama's like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with what he did after that because I made it clear I didn't want him doing that. What they're doing is realizing too, Allie, and I'll show you this a little bit larger. So there are 120 biolabs, guys, in more than 30 countries. You have to understand that some of the largest ones were in Wuhan, China, and wait for it, Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and to think about the biolab. So and I love this, what Rand Paul is saying is he now wants to go into those biolabs. He wants to send American physicists and medical professionals into these biolabs, and he wants to know what's in there. What are they cooking? What are what stuff are they doing? I think this is kind of like the Iran deal with sending people in there to make sure that they don't get it. I mean, I don't know that you can. I don't know if you can really do this, honestly. And to be honest, what do I care if you don't put Fauci in prison? Do you know what I mean? Like, can we do it while he's behind bars?
That part. Can we? Right. I mean, are there consequences to our actions or are there not?
Yeah. And you're talking about when I say
then we wonder why corrupt people get into office. Because of things like this. It can literally see that I can be as corrupt as possible, and it doesn't matter what crime I commit, as long as I'm on the right side or have enough influence, I won't get caught. I won't be in trouble.
Write it out until there's a new administration. Yep. It's the same thing that Iran's doing.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100% that's exactly what they're doing. That's what a lot of people within the administration are doing currently, what a lot of representatives and senators are doing currently. They're just waiting it out.
And that's why That's why Senator Thune, when he's pushed ever a little bit in a press conference, he chuckles when he's talking about President Trump because he's like, "I'll outlive listen, I've been here for 30 years. Trump's going to be your what? Another 2? I got this." Exactly. It's arrogance.
It is. For sure. And it's frustrating to the average American person, which is why I understand there's a lot of people that are walking away from the Republican Party and really trying to find this America First true movement. But it's difficult because if we don't put our grassroots money where our mouth is, we're not going to get those people elected. It'll be the same folks with a different packaging. And they'll just wait it out. They don't want to go there to do what is best for the American people, to preserve and protect America, to preserve and protect American sovereignty and our constitutionally protected rights. They don't want to do that. So it's extremely frustrating to see.
If you want to keep it a republic of by and for the people, it's going to require 2 things. It's going to require you to get out and vote because I'm sorry, Republicans showing up for a primary at maybe 27% turnout, 30% turnout, some places of the country, 15% turnout. You're giving them our country on a platter. And the second thing, it's going to take your money because you've got to get behind. If you don't like the rich elite controlling you by electing more rich elite, then don't make me spend $250,000 on a freaking school board seat.
Which is insane. $250,000 for a local school board seat is quite literally insane. It costs $5 million almost to run a congressional seat. That's primary and
why? Because I gotta get flyers to you. I gotta get mailers. I gotta get door hangers. I gotta do commercials to get your attention with some sparkly glitter package to say this is your country. Let's maybe care about what the kiddies are learning in school. We shouldn't have to. Our politicians should not have to entertain our.
Sorry. And a lot of them, honestly, a lot of them are funded. A lot of them are self-funded. You don't have. It's difficult to have a grassroots candidate do it and come out a winner. because they're not self-funded.
Mhm.
And it really requires crowdsourcing. And crowdsourcing is difficult to do because people want to fund
Yes.
is a winner, right? And how do they gauge who's winning? How much money they put into the race? Well, that doesn't make any sense because if you're giving more money to someone that's already self-funded, you're competing against who actually has your best interest.
Absolutely, Allie. Absolutely. Do we want to end on a little Trump trolling?
Sure.
So while we were speaking about algae in the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, guess
My
guess who circled in low altitude on his way back home in Marine Force One?
Nice.
Helicopters flying over the reflecting pool. It's like the president
I mean, just to say hi, maybe that's
It's
what they're doing.
beautiful. Honestly, I don't understand. I get it. I get it. It's Marxism. I understand the root of it. I understand the crux of it, but it's mind bending. It's mind bending. I can't. Like, go do something productive.
Go to a job. I mean, like even you and I can't. Well, we talk about politics a lot, even with work. But like even we have, like even there's a time when it's like, okay, you're gonna go do something else, right? Like you don't have children to feed, or like soccer practice to take them to, or a date.
Yeah,
to
like
go
that's
to.
enough.
Do you not have anything? Anything?
Haven't you had enough?
You had enough.
My gosh. Why can't we just celebrate America 250 and its independence? Why can't we just sit back and thank God, whoever you want to thank, President Trump, even if you don't want to thank President Trump, for the successes that we've seen over the last year in astronomical amounts. Like he's peace throughout the world. I don't understand why. It's just let's just be happy. I was on the David Pollock show. I was on the David Pollock show primetime yesterday, and I talked about this, and it's interesting because it's I equate it to being in like a toxic relationship for a long time, and you don't know, you're always waiting for the other foot to drop. So, and then when something good does happen, you don't know how to receive it because you're so used to the bad, right? But according to them, they were under good things. Everything that they had before Trump was great. So now that Trump is here and he's doing good things, it's like you think the bad is good, so much so that you've been brainwashed, right? But now you have this, you don't have the ability to let that go and to realize that what that was not true, that was not good. Now that you have the good that is actually happening, you can't see it. Your receptors are broken. And so I'm like, this is on a psychological level crazy. This is on a relational level crazy. It needs to be studied, and somebody's got to like desensitize them, like not desensitize, but like bring them back to some kind of reality. Because cheering for algae on the side of I can't.
Well, and some of where I find this happening, in just in like talking to people that I know don't like me, whatever, but in trying to just. But why? Like, why do you feel that way? Like when you have this kind of conversation with somebody and they can't like articulate why they feel what they feel or why they believe what they believe, I think then you get them to a great point of like maybe just opening your mind for a second. And maybe and I think that's what we have to do, like on a relational level, which is why part of our call to action to you guys out there is always, hey, we deliver this in a kitchen table style so that you can go talk about it at your kitchen table, at the diner where you have coffee in the morning, when you're in line in the grocery store and somebody wants to talk with you about something. Don't be afraid to engage in reasonable conversations with people because all they know are talking points, and they're crazy talking points by leftist loonies. Even the right side isn't getting it correct on mainstream media. So you are the infiltrator that gets to go in there and just drop a little bit of seed.
Yes, and call your senators.
Everybody call Thune again. Let's call Thune again. Let's do it.
Okay.
All
right, you
well,
guys, thank you so much. I love how we do it at the same time. Go ahead, Shel. Our brother said you take us out.
No, that's it for us for Out of Pocket Live, guys. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here. Thank you to Talk Red for all the support, as well as Liberty Cigars. If you want, please make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and even follow at Real Allie Lejay and at Michelle Posey on all social media platforms. Till tomorrow, I guess we do what, Allie?
We stay out of pocket.
And keep that mic open. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Two queens, no filter, say what they feel. Allie and Michelle keep it way too real.